this is the time to recognize our honorees. And I think Denise, you're gonna go first and also recognize some of our folks, elected folks, past and present, that are with us today.
Thank you. So I want to thank our speaker, Nsé, for all of the enlightening information provided. One of the things that I want to highlight as we're on the call, I'm looking at the participants that we have with us. And so I think it's really timely when you think about the words that Nsé spoke about and the fact that as the Mass Women of Color Coalition, we want to support women and support women candidates so that we know that women of color have a voice in elected spaces. So as I was perusing through the participant list, please charge it to my head and not to my heart. But I noticed that we have some women on the line that are elected officials. They have run for elected offices. They have served in elected offices. So I just want to let our audience know who's joining us on the call. We have Dr. Yvonne Spicer, Mayor of Framingham, served as mayor. School committee woman from Springfield, Massachusetts, Latonia Naylor. We have Charlotte Goler Ritchie, who was a MAWOCC advisor, but also was a state representative and a mayoral candidate in Boston. Vera Cage from Amherst was a school committee member. And then we have Ayanna Crawford, who ran for school committee in the city of Springfield. And then as we talk about supporting women, I want to make sure that I spotlight my own soror, Tanisha Sullivan, president of the Boston NAACP, who has taken out papers and has announced her candidacy for Secretary of State. If there are any other women on this call who are looking to run for public office, MAWOCC, we want to know who you are so that we can share your information collectively to our membership. And so if you're running, put your name in the chat. If you held a position, put your name in the chat because those women that are running may look to you for wisdom and guidance. So as we segue on to another major part of our program for today, we're going to honor our 2022 Public Health Honorees. It is my honor and privilege to present to the audience today my Commissioner of Public Health, Commissioner Helen Caulton-Harris. Helen Caulton-Harris has served as the Commissioner for Health and Human Services since 1996 in the city of Springfield. Helen has the distinct pleasure or honor, as I want to say, of being one of the mayor's cabinet members that actually oversees, I believe it's 6 different departments. It's Elder Affairs, Veterans, Libraries, help me out, Health, Human Services, so many. I think I might have missed one. I said Veterans, Animal Control. And so it's important to note that a lot of these don't mix. And that's because she didn't get all these titles because they were all interconnected. It was because these various departments needed leadership. And the mayor at that time just kept giving her different departments to oversee because of her wisdom and her knowledge and ability to lead. Currently, Commissioner Caulton-Harris is definitely a servant leader. She is the first Black woman to hold her title as the Commissioner of Health and Human Services in the city of Springfield, and the only woman of color that serves as a member of the mayor's executive cabinet. Helen shares her time, her talent, and her treasures with a number of local and national organizations. She is the past president and member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. She is a member and past president of the Greater Springfield Links Incorporated. She is the past chairwoman of the Western Massachusetts American Auto Association, known as AAA. She is also the past chair of the trustee board of Holyoke Community College and a number of other organizations. Currently, one of the things that we are really talking about in the city of Springfield and how holding our commissioner in such is that she currently leads the city's charge on combating COVID-19. If you are a person that is involved in government throughout this pandemic, you will understand that this has not been an easy challenge. Commissioner Caulton-Harris has done a Herculean effort in terms of trying to manage this virus and manage information and expectations for the residents in the city of Springfield and greater Western Mass. She is the voice for COVID in our city. She's our own Dr. Fauci here. She is responsible for making sure that all of the residents in this city know the numbers, know the challenges, the hot spots, what to do, where to get it, what you shouldn't do. And she's basically been our local shero in terms of guidance. She has worked tirelessly to make sure that communities of color in specific, because those are the communities that have been highlighted as needing more information and being resistant to receiving the vaccine. She put together a team called the Vax Force, which was comprised of members from the city of Springfield in various capacities in terms of the business community, young people. They have a junior task force of young people so that they can go out and speak to their peers about the importance of receiving this vaccine. For her work in Springfield in organizing the Vax Force, in her work in the Black community, she was actually featured in Ebony magazine for her efforts. She has so many accomplishments and recognitions, but I want to share just some of them. Her work is actually published in the national bestseller, Our Bodies, Ourselves. She is the 2021 Community Service Award recipient and an honorary member of the Brethren. Now, the Brethren is a group of Black males in this city. I said Black males. Commissioner Caulton-Harris is so bad, she's a female, they actually made her an honorary member. So that speaks to the respect that she has from the members of her community. She's a 2016 UBORA Award Community Service Award for Excellence in the Black community in Greater Springfield from the Springfield Libraries and Museums. She is the 2021 William Pinchon Awardee, and she's the past madrina for the Puerto Rican Parade Festival. Helen Caulton-Harris is who we call Grace Under Fire. About 4 or 5 years ago, if you went into the mayor's office, there was a picture of her and it would say WWDJ, and it stood for What Would Helen Do? And that was because when we were in crisis, we would always be able to look to Helen to calm us down, group us, posture us, organize us, and guide us into the next steps for putting out fires. With that being said, she led our city through a tornado, unprecedented, led us through a freak nor'easter where our city was left without power for 8 days. I watched her shut down the Red Cross by herself and erect a shelter in our schools. And we were like, what are you doing? And she's like, just follow me. And it was successful. We had a gas explosion in the city. And as I spoke before, most recently, handling the pandemic that has been started in 2019. So I am so proud and honored to award this to my mentor, to my shero, Helen Caulton-Harris. All of the women that are on this line from the Wild Wild West, we are here for you. I see members of AKA and Links on here, members from different bodies of the health community on here to celebrate you on this day. She's worked tirelessly, and I wish she could have a vacation, but until COVID stops, she won't stop. So Helen, on behalf of the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition, I would like to present you with our 2022 Public Health Award for your work in the health field in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Wow, thank you. Denise Jordan was my work daughter for 10 years. I love her dearly. Those of you who know her understand her sharp wit, her no-nonsense attitude, and she is willing to speak truth to power at every level. Denise, you know I love you dearly. I want to thank the women from Xi Xi Omega, chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, who are on the call, and the Greater Springfield chapter of Links Incorporated. Thank you for being here. Thank you, MAWOCC. This is an amazing honor. I am so absolutely honored. No one does anything by themselves. I mentioned 2 organizations I belong to, but the blessing is that I have women in the city of Springfield who love me, support me, and who are there for me. So thank you all so much. And MAWOCC and all the women from the Wild Wild West, thank you for being on to celebrate with me. I love you all dearly. Denise Jordan, you know, we have had a journey together and our path is just getting started. I look forward to our journey together. And I love you dearly. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right, Brenda, are you up next?
Yes, and just so you know, my internet's unsafe and keeps going in and out. It's my I want to just say congratulations, Commissioner. And I just want to just say thank you to the keynote speaker who brought phenomenal words, and to every woman and person that's on our annual event Zoom. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I'm very excited to actually introduce this next person. You know, we have known each other for quite some time. They have her down here. She's been here 32 years, but I think she's been here a little longer. You know, this woman has done some amazing work in the city of Worcester and across the Commonwealth. You know, Dr. Mattie Castiel has always held a personal mission in serving underserved populations and really working with BIPOC communities. She was born in Paraguay, Cuba, and she immigrated to the U.S. in 1962, and she was part of the operation of the Peter Pan at the operation of Peter Pan. She raised and educated in California and San Francisco. She continued her medical training at the University of California, San Francisco. She moved to Worcester 32 years ago as a practice board certified physician in internal medicine, and she she worked in our Worcester Community Family Health Center. She worked at Worcester UMass Memorial. She's an associate professor of internal medicine, family medicine, and she's in psychiatry at UMass Medical School. In 2009, Dr. Castiel founded the Latin American Health Alliance, LAHA. It's a nonprofit organization in Worcester that's dedicated to combating homelessness and drug addiction and working at the present time for people that suffer from social disorder and substance abuse. And she also has a treatment facility for Latinx males, and she also has 2 transitional houses. In 2015, LAHA opened Cafe Reyes on Shrewsbury Street, and it innovated jobs for training programs for the residents that reside at the Hector Reyes House and transitional homes. In September 2015, Dr. Castiel was appointed as the City of Worcester's Commissioner for Health and Human Services. She's actually the first Latina to hold that position, when she oversees the Division of Public Health, Youth Services, Human Rights and Disabilities, Veterans Affairs, Elders Affairs, and she also, along with the homelessness, along with advancing important new initiatives that fall under the scope of her work. Most recently, Dr. Castiel was awarded in 2019-2020 the UMass Medical School Chancellor Medal for Distinguished Services, the Edward and Kennedy Community Health Award, Family Health Center Healthy Communities Award, and LIFT Community Health Award in Worcester Business Journal's Hall of Fame. This woman also has taken the time and gone out and organizing really out in some really street outreach, working with, I'm talking the homelessness, going under train tracks, going over into really high and dated violent areas, making sure people are educated, making sure people that got their COVID shots. I mean, she's going to some of the storefronts. She's been out there day and night, ready to organize, not just only in working with the population, but some of the BIPOC communities that have businesses in an urban area that don't get a lot of mainstream information. She has provided them to give them not only education, but provide them to give them toolkits so that when they're addressing and seeing that population, they have resources to be able to reach out. She continues. She's been a friend. We've organized together. She's done phenomenal work, and I think there's more to come, and MAWOCC is honored to be able to congratulate her for this award, and I just want to thank her for all that she does. Congratulations, Dr. Mattie Castiel.
And you make me cry, and I'm not very good at this. Thank you, MAWOCC. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate the honor. sometimes you feel like you're working in an uphill battle. And, I am thrilled that, we've seen some changes in our community. There is so much work that needs to be done. But I know all of you back me up, and we will continue to fight this process. So I really appreciate the honor. And I can never do this. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, MAWOCC, and everybody who's here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mattie.
And Jean, you're up.
Yes, I'm ready. Is Sabrina here? There she is. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nessie. I think you really spoke to all of us for not only the need, but the honor and privilege to be able to carry on and fight the fight and continue the work. So it is fitting for today's times that we have the opportunity to recognize those community leaders, women of color in our communities, helping to uplift us and take care of us and help us heal and be strong enough to move forward with the work. So it's in that spirit that I am pleased to welcome and honor the MAWOCC Public Health Honoree, Sabrina Selk. Sabrina is the Director of Health and Racial Equity at the National Network of Public Health Institutes, and she currently serves as a member of the Cambridge Human Rights Commission. She brings extensive work experience with MAWOCC Public Health Honoree communities to address systems of oppression, including structural racism and increasing access to the social determinants of health to improve the health of children and our families. Sabrina previously served as Director of the Office of Health Equity at the Massachusetts Department of Public Health and was the State Officer for Minority Health, where she supported the startup of several work streams, including COVID-19 Health Equity Advisory Group, the Executive Office of Health and Human Services Interagency Health Equity Team. Sabrina sits on several academic and research community advisory boards, primarily focused on addressing health and racial equity in research and addressing the impact of racism on maternal and infant health outcomes. In her many roles, Sabrina has served as a principal investigator, project director, and senior advisor on a number of projects, including data collection and standardization, so needed, especially during these times of COVID and health disparities that are coming to light. Health equity infrastructure development, paternal and maternal outcomes, childhood asthma, cancer inequities, sickle cell disease, and early childhood systems. You can read the full scope of her work because there is much in the program manuals you received with your registration. Sabrina has a doctorate of science from the Society of Human Development and Health Department with a focus on social epidemiology and planned social change, as well as a Master of Science with a focus on women, gender, and health, both from the Harvard H.T. Chan School of Public Health, along with her undergraduate degrees in biology and psychology from the University of Washington. Sabrina, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much. As we all know, this has been an incredibly challenging season for all of us collectively. And I just want to say thank you so much for this recognition. From my heart, it really means so much. But as it's been stressed again and again during this incredible session together, all of this work that I had the privilege to lead was really built on the work of folks who came before me and those who were leading the work in this moment, particularly women of color, including Georgia May Simpson, who was my predecessor in the Office of Health Equity, the leadership of former Commissioner Monica Burrell, now a key advisor on housing and homelessness for Mayor Wu, as well as local leaders such as Commissioner Coulter-Harris and Dr. Castiel and the countless staff within DPH who made my time serving the Commonwealth both a joy and a blessing, such as Drs. Sonori Erspring and VP Giup, who were both really mentors for me before I joined the department and continue to support me after. While I was at the department, it was said again and again that the pandemic and the work of the department was not a sprint, but a marathon. And now with my own experience at the departure, I now see that the work is really a relay. And I know that there will continue to be women of color throughout the Commonwealth who continue to move the work forward. So I'm really encouraged by that. And thank you all so much for this incredible recognition.
Well, thank you. And I'm very excited at this cohort of women. As a Springfield native and a member of the Arlington Human Rights Commission, I can understand the scope of the work that all three of you have really been doing. So I appreciate you and thank you so much. Moving on to